Thank you so much, Kagri, for the kind introduction. Welcome, everyone. I don't know where everyone is located in the world, but here it's the morning, so in Dubai. So good morning to everyone. So yes, I'm Nathalie Salas, and today we're going to explore an interesting concept that can transform how you view your customers and your business. But before we go into that, I'd like to start with a question. How many of you have played pinball? You know, this pinball machine? It's for me, it's a memory of my childhood for sure. And it has captivated audiences for decades. But let me tell you why I love pinball. First of all, as I just said, it gives me a wave of nostalgia. But pinball has been around since the 18th century with the original version called bagatelle. And the modern pinball machine, which is what you see in this picture, took shape in the early 20th century. So for me, and I know for many others, there is really a sense of nostalgia for many. The second thing is that I love the physical interaction and the sensory appeal of a pinball machine. So unlike digital games, I love the fact that it's a physical machine and it offers this tactile feedback. So you feel with your body the sound of the ball hitting the bumpers and the whole visual spectacle. So for me, it's just a pleasure. Can I lose hours playing a pinball machine? And then thirdly, pinball machine is all about skill, strategy, and competition. And you need all of those. And players, you need to learn the specific rules for each machine, and it makes the game both challenging and rewarding. So what I would like to do is share with you a brief video clip that introduces a guy called Roger Sharp. And he's still alive, a pinball player that made history. Excuse me. And this is actually based on a true story. So as you watch, think about the unique blend of skill and chance in pinball, because this analogy is going to be central to our discussion going forward.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Tell us everything about the greatest shot you ever took.
Roger Sharp. I've always wanted to be a writer.
Wife, girlfriend,
Boyfriend.
Divorced, actually.
You should be happy. You finally wrote something important.
So you're single?
Welcome to GQ.
if you guys are going for drinks.
Actually, I have a date. This probably sounds weird, but I play pinball all the time. Helps me focus.
Are you any good?
It may be the thing that I am best at.
Why are they taking the machines?
We got busted.
It never even occurred to me that the game was illegal.
But for over 3 decades, pinball was banned in New York City.
I want to show the city council members that they've had it wrong for all these years.
Oh, you're a reporter?
I just have a question about the pinball ban, sir.
Somebody keep these damn kids away from me.
We're going to set up a hearing. We'd like you to come in to testify.
You're going to play pinball at City Hall?
I want to redeem the game.
That is a game of chance.
That is a game of skill.
Well,
Okay, I'm not sure if anyone's seen that film before, but in the video, Roger Sharp talks about how pinball helped him focus. And the story overall highlights the skill required to play pinball, despite its appearance as a game of chance. So now let's think about you and your business. And now I'd like you to imagine customers for your business as the ball in a pinball machine. Okay, so each bounce of the ball represents an interaction with your business. So just like a pinball, it's a smooth and guided path that should lead to positive outcomes. The higher the points, and you win, essentially. So going back to what Roger Sharp said, it's about, it helps him focus. I would like to say it's you are what you focus on. Because if you focus on looking at your business as a cluster of customer journeys, by focusing on creating seamless customer journeys, you have the possibility to de-risk unpredictability with your business and move forward more into precision. So Roger Moore had this determination and skill and turned a game of chance into precision and success. So it's important to have that same approach in guiding your customers smoothly through their journeys. But let's define what is a customer journey. Does anyone have any initial thoughts? Because we hear the word customer journey, being thrown around a lot. So for me, this is how I see a customer journey. The customer journey is a progression over time and space that people make through a product or a company's ecosystem. So involving direction, travel, and development, right? And the concept of a customer journey can be applied to many, many, many things. Something such as a small interaction such as onboarding a new customer, or developing clean energy over 6 decades, right? So a customer journey can apply to something small and to something massive. Just like what I'm showing you in this video here. All right. So I was saying to you that a pinball is a ball where it can, if you don't know how to play the game properly, it can bounce unpredictably. And when you're learning how to play pinball, your ball is going everywhere. So imagine the ball being your customer. When that happens in your business, customers will, unfortunately, experience disjointed journeys throughout the various touch points in your business. And consequently, this can lead to frustration and dissatisfaction. So today, we're going to discuss how you can manage and improve those experiences. So customers bounce unpredictably through various touch points. Why? Because what happens is that when departments are not aligned, right? You can be, I don't know who's here today and what stage they're at within their startups, but it doesn't, even if you're just forming an idea to growth stage, okay? Obviously, when you're forming an idea, you don't have a department yet, but you will have departments and that your teams will grow. But what happens is departments start to become misaligned. And then the customer's journeys can take unexpected turns, and this results in negative experiences. I'd love to share actually a real world example. So I actually worked in-house for a year to set up a service design function for a Series B scale-up. And they had just raised 180 million. So there was huge potential. 180 million for Series B, that's a good amount. But by the time I had started, the damage had already been done. Right? They had an aggressive growth plan. They had to hire quick, right? They had to hire engineers to scale up. They had to hire their SDI teams, their sales, account executives. They had to really push. Why? Because they had to push sales. This was a SaaS product, by the way. And they had hired their VPs for each of the sections, customer success, sales, marketing. But by that time, within a short amount of time, by the way, a year and a half, their departments had already become siloed, and also their systems. So customer success had a different system, sales had a different system, marketing had a different system. Who else? The product teams had different systems, and none of them were talking to one another. So what happened? They lost control of how their customer was interacting with their experience. So even though every department was striving for customer excellence, they were all doing it alone. They were not aligned. They were not united. They were not rallying together towards a unified customer journey. So I'm sure you can think about a time when you had a frustrating customer experience. And what caused it, just disassociate yourself for a minute for your own business, but just on a personal level. I mean, just yesterday, I booked a hotel, for example, for my mother's 70th. And we booked 3 rooms for 3 days. There's going to be 11 of us. And I thought, right now I need to organize the dinner. And so I send an email. I want to hire this specific thing. And they go, okay, we have a set menu. And it's this amount per person. I was like, okay, but it's my mum's 70th and I'd like to order a cake. And slowly, there started to become roadblocks. And I didn't know where to turn. And I was like, okay, so who do I speak to now? I basically got stuck. So you can imagine, I haven't even arrived at the hotel yet, and I'm already getting a frustrated customer experience. And what's most concerning is that the people that are operating this front-end experience don't know how to solve it. I'm trying to solve it for them. Can you imagine that? So that's my own personal experience. So I want you to start thinking of the many frustrating customer experiences we've all had in the past. So thinking internally within your team, as I was saying to you before, as you scale within your startup, experiences will start to become fragmented across teams. And these are experiences that I took from having my real life in-house experience working with a Series B startup. And as a service designer, I'm able to go into every single department and pull out the pain points. And these were some of the pain points that each of the teams had. You know, from engineering, what did engineering say? I don't understand why I'm building my product, right? Because somewhere along the lines, it's just not being communicated. It could be from a CEO level in terms of what the kind of the roadmap is. It could be from the product team, not giving them the right direction. You've got marketing that is always like this with the sales, and this whole continuous issue of data sharing between the sales and the marketing team, and then the sales team blaming marketing for not producing enough leads. So if you don't have a good experience already internally, imagine how that's being transmitted externally as well. You know, and then you've got customer success because of the name of the function, right? They feel that everyone thinks that team, that function, is responsible for making the customer happy. No, that's not the case. Everyone is involved in making the customer happy, not just customer success. And I remember also the CEO telling me, because I'm not able to see the data. I don't have the data. I don't trust the data to allow me to make informed decisions. And then you've got the product team. You know, closing that customer feedback loop is always a challenge for them. How can they create something when they don't have the feedback? And the feedback that they get, it usually comes from customer success. So there's always a blockage in the transfer of knowledge and understanding because the systems and the way of doing things are so siloed. So, time for reflection. How well do you understand your customer journeys? I remember when I first started, I did a workshop, and I asked the product team to map out a journey, a specific journey. And can you believe there was not one single person that gave me the right journey? So that was an alarm bell for me right at the beginning. So again, I'll repeat the question. How well do you understand your customer journeys? And are you prepared to scale without losing control of these journeys? Are your teams aligned to ensure smooth customer experiences? There's something in the chat here that I am going to just see what's here. Oh, here we go. Ronnie says, my memory is all about this game. Yeah. And Leopold as well. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Why am I saying all of this? Because ultimately, if you know how to manage your journeys effectively, it's going to have an upside. And there is proof in the pudding. Companies that have leading CX practices incorporating a holistic view. So I'm going to talk about kind of zooming in and zooming out in a minute, but when they look at their whole end-to-end experience from a holistic point of view, their revenue numbers are way much higher than the laggards. And those that adopt a holistic CX approach contribute to 80% of the value creation, which predominantly will enhance revenues from existing customers. So managing your journeys is super aligned with business objectives. It's essentially a strategic tool because it helps to understand the impact of your different initiatives on customer experiences and aligning them with your business goals. What other benefits do you get for managing journeys effectively? Well, it really helps with runway extension. It's not the number one contributor. There are so many moving parts in terms of managing your runway. But what happens is when you have disjointed experiences and you scale too quickly, and you're not aligned, no one's aligned on agreed customer journeys, is that you get churn. And once you've got the churn, that churning machine doesn't stop unless you fix the problem quickly. But if you can't identify properly where the issues are in the journey, you're not quick enough to solve the problem. But once you've got the churn, there's no way you're getting them back. And unfortunately, with our digital world, news spreads very, very, very quickly. And so you're through the churn, you're basically losing your runway. You become more operationally efficient. Isn't that great? You know, if you're operationally efficient, you know, you want everyone to be more productive. Yeah, it helps with marketing and sales. It helps with customer satisfaction and loyalty, and that's really what you want. You want really loyal customers, because then those loyal customers really shout out the love for your business. As I mentioned before, it helps with revenue growth. It helps reduce your customer service costs. The amount of time that the customer success teams spend with the clients to solve problems and speak to various departments to solve issues. Well, if you're aligned on your customer journeys and you understand how each part of the journey is powered and how it operates, you're going to reduce time wastage of your people. And then it also reduces double work. I mentioned in a previous slide that there was 50 projects being worked on to solve the same problem. So you can imagine that. So you don't want to have a company of even like 400 people like the one that I was in. They were all working in different ways to solve the problem. So a reduction in double work when you're all aligned on customer journeys is a huge advantage. So the zoom in, zoom out. I'm conscious of time, so I will be quick. So as I was saying, it's really important to have a multidimensional understanding of customer journeys. You need to know when to zoom in and when to zoom out. So just like a skilled pinball player focusing on the ball and anticipating its movements to score high points, you as a business must focus on each customer interaction to guide customers through their journey smoothly. And this method includes knowing how to zoom in and to essentially go also friction hunting. So friction hunting is identifying where the major frictions are in your customer interactions and eliminating those pain points. So remember, you are what you focus on. So by focusing on eliminating friction, you focus on smoother and more successful customer journeys. So rather than focusing on the usability of your product, you are focusing as a business on the entire journey ecosystem and all the things that make, the journeys possible. And that's essentially your product, the totality of your experience and everything that's visible and invisible. So how do we approach it? All right, there's 3 pillars. We look at building and aspiring and creating a purpose, transforming and enabling. And it's important to define a clear aspiration and purpose, to redesign and innovate customer journeys, and to also enable, through strategic enablers. So building aspiration and purpose, at the beginning, it's really essential to understand the maturity of where you are in journey management and start from the right point to be able to create the right framework of journeys and instill the right success metrics and understand what resource requirements are required. Essentially, you can see your journey framework as this. You've got your business ecosystem, you've got your different journeys, and on the strategic level. And then you basically go through one layer to another layer and to another layer. And every journey, you will start feeding in opportunities to solve problems and solutions, which then transpire into delivery through feature upgrades, etc. So that's essentially how a journey framework works from a pyramid point of view. You're establishing a source of truth. So transforming, you then need to facilitate and map your current state, because if you don't know your current state, how can you create a future and better state? So you map out the key journeys that matter. Now, your business can have multiple journeys, but at the beginning, it's really important to focus on the journeys that really matter. You start slow. You start with 1 journey, 2 journeys, 3 journeys, and then you make those really solid. then you catalog touch points, put all your systems and policies in place, and putting trackable, measurable metrics, because you can't improve or see the improvement if you can't track it. So that's the one thing that's super important, is defining what those metrics are and instilling processes to be able to measure them. And then the enabling part is creating the action plan. Okay, what were the pain points? What are the opportunities that have come out of this? How can we deliver short-term tactical wins, because that's important, but then what are the longer play deliverables as well? And designing prototypes and an operational model to normalize how you manage journeys going forward. And another thing that wraps everything together is about transforming everything that you do into a convincing story. Turning skepticism into enthusiasm. So imagine like in your top of funnel, and you're going down, a potential customer may be skeptic about something when they go on your initial landing page on your website. There's lots of different ways in which you can influence people in an ethical way to start loving your value proposition. And very similar to what Leopold was mentioning last week in the last session, which was all about influence and ethical persuasion, you can see here how through a simple customer journey, you can see how you can start embedding the key principles of persuasion: reciprocity, liking, scarcity, social proof, authority. And there's so many different ways you can do that have zero cost, essentially, just changing one tiny, tiny thing. So what are the benefits of all of this? As I said, there's things that can be costless. You can accelerate customer acquisition, you can enhance team alignment and performance, you can adopt new solutions. So my approach of journey management is not just about providing frameworks and tools, it's also providing this wrapper, as I say, of how you can also implement simple changes to how you say things to your customer, how you put a word on a landing page of your website to help influence and persuade your customer to buy into your value proposition in an ethical way. And everyone benefits. Okay, your engineering team will have more streamlined development processes. Your sales teams will have more effective sales pitches. Customer success will receive reduced churn rates, and the CEO, most importantly, can also have better data and trustworthy data to help him make very key business decisions. And then what about your customers? You're providing them with a better seamless experience, consistency and trust, empathy and support, and many, many other positive outcomes. So today, we've seen how guiding our customers smoothly through journeys is akin to our wonderful Roger Sharp, who turned a game of chance into one of precision. And you need to focus, we all need to focus on every touch point to create a seamless customer experience. Remember, you are what you focus on. And by prioritizing customer journey management, we can turn unpredictability into precision and achieve success. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and questions. Please feel free to add them in the chat, or you can contact me afterwards. But it was a pleasure to be speaking with you all today. Thank you.